Hey everybody, Greg Fisk here. I'm going to do a quick short form video for our React channel on commission flow and best practices from an office standpoint on the listings and especially the buyer request for seller concession when it concerns the commission portion. So I'm going to screen share here real quick. Probably going to pull this up. Let's quickly just jump into the exclusive right to sell. For the listing agreement, obviously in paragraph 4, we want to make sure that there's a termination clause in there, begin date, end date. But we want to travel down to the paragraph 14, brokers compensation. So again, make sure you're putting your percentage in here, what you want to charge for your commission, the office flat fee that we have in there as well, the $5.95 fee. And if you're doing something different, that'll be included in the percentage and sales price and dollar amount. And then we are, for best practices, Doug, and we're in agreement that best practice is not to do a broker co-oping fee. So we probably want to see 0 in authority to co-op with other brokers. And then, of course, we're having the conversation with our sellers and the net sheet accordingly. Let them know that the buyers will be asking for the seller concession to cover their buyer agent fees. A lot of buyers don't have the fee, the money or the reserves to cover that buyer agent fee. We want to make sure that we're competitive in the market. So let them know that that will be coming as a buyer request for seller concession towards the buyer agent fee, and that's the form we're really going to talk about and cover next. And also make sure that that's annotated in your net sheet for them so there's no surprises. So now we're switching over to this form. I'm sure you guys are familiar with it. Buyer request for seller's compensation and buyer's broker addendum. A little bit of confusion on this form. I know it's a little bit complicated too, based on sort of where we were at with that antitrust settlement. And again, if someone's calling you ahead of time, if an agent's calling you, if they're a co-oping commission, say, look, we didn't do any co-oping commission up front. However, I have had the conversation with Mr. and Mrs. Seller, and they are aware that the buyers will be probably asking for a seller concession to cover their buyer agent fee. So that's just going to be part of the offer, and it'll be part of the negotiation. So just please use this form and request what you're going to request. Now, of course, if there is a co-oping fee, or if you're on the buy side of this and you find out from the listing agent that there is a co-oping fee, then we want to fill out paragraph 1. This is the broker to broker co-oping fee, the way it had been done historically. The way we are doing it now, best practices, is paragraph 2. So this states, in addition to broker compensation, the seller hereby agrees to pay buyer's broker the amount of. Now, in lieu of, if there's no broker to broker compensation, this will be the lion's share of the compensation that the buyer's agent will receive. So if said buyer's agent is asking for 2.5%, then they'll put in here 2.5% of the purchase price. This can be done a couple different ways. If they're asking for 2.5%, again, it's part of the negotiations. Your seller decides that they only want to offer a concession of 2%, then that buyer's agent will get the remaining 0.5% from their buyer, and they're communicating that with the lender and the title company. So again, this is where paragraph 2, best practices. If you're a buyer's agent, you're asking for a seller concession to cover your buyer agent fee. And again, if you are on the list side, this is where that compensation should be in paragraph 2. If you're not offering the upfront broker to broker compensation, and it's part of the offer and it's going to be part of the negotiation. So now we take paragraph 1 and 2 and go down to paragraph 4, and that's going to be the combined amounts there. So again, if there was an upfront broker to broker commission amount, it'd be in paragraph 1. That would translate down here to paragraph 4 if there was no additional concession offered, or if there was 0 in paragraph 1 and the whole 2.5% is in paragraph 2, then it'd be 2.5% down here in paragraph 4. If for some reason the seller was offering 1% broker to broker compensation, and you were asking for an additional 1.5% to cover your buyer agency fee, so it'd be 1% in paragraph 1, 1.5% in paragraph 2, and then 2.5% in paragraph 4. And this is going to authorize the title company to disperse funds at settlement back to the broker. And then, of course, Douglas or the broker can disseminate funds accordingly. So best practices is we're going to have, paragraph 2 filled out with what the buyer's agent's asking for from the seller and for a concession. That should also be on the paragraph on the contract. Buyer request for seller compensation. And then that fee or that amount will also make its way down to paragraph 4 here. And they're going to have the sum total of everything that is being offered in that case. Hopefully that's clear. If you have any questions, please hit me up in my, shoot me an email, call me, text me, and I'll make sure that we have certainty and clarity around that. And again, best practices from the list side, the buyer's agent side. And if you just want a little bit more information on why we're doing all that, I'm happy to share that with you as well. So that is it for now. Hopefully all that makes sense, and appreciate it. Talk to you guys soon. Take care.